The storm within is not visible. It does not announce itself with thunder or lightning. It whispers, it rages quietly, it tears apart from the inside out. For the man, the woman, or the soul trapped inside, it feels endless, relentless, merciless. No one sees the battles fought behind closed doors, in empty rooms, in moments stolen from sleep. The demons are not external, they are carved from memory, doubt, guilt, regret, and fear. They grow in silence, feeding on every unanswered question, every unhealed wound, every whispered insecurity. And the worst part is knowing that while the world goes on, oblivious and careless, you are fighting wars that no one else can understand. Each day is a battlefield. Getting out of bed feels like lifting mountains. Breathing feels like a struggle against invisible chains. Each interaction with the world is a tightrope walk, a constant balancing act between appearing okay and surviving the chaos inside. The demons are patient. They wait for the moments when defenses falter, when smiles drop, when laughter is forced. They seep into thoughts, twisting memories into accusations and shaping fears into monstrous forms. Yet despite all this, life demands participation. The storm rages, but the world spins indifferent. And in that spinning, one has to find the strength to remain unbroken. The storm is not constant. It shifts, ebbs, flows, and then crashes with renewed fury. There are moments of quiet when you think relief has come, only for a sudden memory, a lingering guilt, or an old failure to ignite the tempest once more. The demons wear masks of familiar faces, friends, loved ones, mentors, and replay conversations, missteps, and regrets like a film stuck on loop. Sometimes the storm appears as anger, other times as numbness, other times as a crushing loneliness that presses so hard it feels like your soul will fracture. And yet each time it returns, it becomes slightly less terrifying. Each fight teaches something, however small, about endurance, about resilience, about holding on when everything inside says to let go. The fiercest battles are invisible to the world, but they are not invisible to oneself. Every tear shed in the dark, every night spent pacing, every scream swallowed in silence builds a form of quiet armor. Strength is discovered not in triumphs celebrated by others, but in victories that no one witnesses. To stare into the storm and refuse to be consumed is to discover courage that cannot be measured, only felt. And that courage, though hidden, becomes the foundation on which the soul can rebuild. And yet, it is not enough to simply endure. To survive the storm, one must confront it, face it, name it. The demons must be recognized, examined, understood. What is the root of the fear that tightens the chest? What memory triggers the relentless guilt? What shadow lurks behind the anger? The act of facing the storm, of naming it aloud, is the first strike against the tyranny of the unseen. Recognition weakens the hold of fear. Understanding creates the possibility of control. Even the smallest steps, writing thoughts, speaking them, sharing them with someone trusted, become weapons against the invisible assault. Sometimes the storm seems too powerful, too consuming. It whispers lies that you are weak, broken, unworthy, beyond saving. It reminds you of all the times you fell, of all the wounds that never healed, of every hope that was betrayed. And in those moments, surrender appears seductive, promising relief from the constant struggle. But within the depths of despair, there is always a choice: to surrender or to rise, to let the demons rule or to assert control over your own mind. And each time the choice is made to rise, however small the act, the storm loses a fraction of its power. The storm does not leave entirely, it never fully vanishes, but its intensity can be managed, channeled, transformed. Awareness is power. Routine becomes armor. Mindfulness becomes a weapon. The battles become cycles of testing, growth, and mastery. Each time the storm returns, there is a memory of victory, however faint, to draw strength from. Each confrontation teaches patience, endurance, and the ability to survive when the world cannot see, when no one else understands. And slowly, the demons, though never gone, begin to bow to the resilience forged within. And in that process, something miraculous occurs. The inner storm, once a force of chaos and fear, begins to illuminate the path forward. The soul discovers that even in the harshest nights, even when consumed by doubt and guilt, light can exist inside. That light is small, fragile, flickering, but it persists. It is hope, it is courage, it is self-belief. And once discovered, it becomes impossible to extinguish entirely. For the one who has stared into the storm and survived, the storm no longer commands fear. It becomes a teacher, a reminder, a measure of how far one has come and how strong one truly is. Finally, the soul learns a truth often hidden from the world. Strength is not measured by what others can see, by accolades or approval, by wealth or recognition. Strength is measured by how fiercely you stand when no one is watching, by how boldly you face the demons no one else can see, by how many times you choose to rise when every instinct tells you to fall. And in that choice, again and again, the storm within loses its dominion. The unseen battle becomes a testament to human endurance, a monument to courage, a silent triumph that the world may never witness. But that forever changes the one who survives it. The storm within is eternal, but so is the human spirit. And while demons may rise, while shadows may linger, while the wind rages in silence, the heart that refuses to surrender discovers its own unyielding power. It learns that surviving the storm is not just about enduring, it is about conquering, growing, and emerging unbroken. And in that emergence, the soul finds a freedom that no darkness can take, a victory that no eye can see, and a strength that no storm can undo. And as the soul grows stronger, it begins to recognize patterns in the chaos. The storm that once seemed random and punishing now reveals lessons hidden within its fury. Each wave of doubt, each gust of fear, each shadow of regret carries a message. Resilience is not given, it is earned. And with each lesson learned, the heart becomes more adept at weathering future tempests. What once shattered now strengthens. What once terrified now teaches. And slowly, the storm transforms from a relentless enemy into a complex mentor. Harsh but necessary, shaping a person capable of standing unshakable against any force. In this realization, the man or woman, or any soul fighting unseen battles, discovers something even more profound. The storm cannot define them. The darkness cannot claim ownership of their spirit. Every trial survived, every fear faced, every tear shed in silence is a declaration of independence from the tyranny of inner demons. The storms may roar, but they do not rule. The heart learns to navigate the turbulence, to anticipate its twists, to endure its pressure without breaking. And in that endurance, a quiet confidence emerges, the kind that does not need recognition, applause, or validation. It is self-sustained, unshakable and eternal, yet even mastery over the storm does not mean its absence. The tempest returns unpredictably, testing the limits of vigilance and patience. But now, the soul meets it not with panic, but with strategy. Not with despair, but with preparation. Not with fear, but with understanding. The demons may strike, but they strike against a wall that has been tempered by experience, resilience, and quiet courage. Each encounter leaves the storm slightly less terrifying, the heart slightly more fearless, the mind slightly more unbound. And in that iterative dance of challenge and triumph, the soul discovers a rhythm, a strength, and an inner peace that can exist even in chaos. Finally, the ultimate truth emerges. The storm within is inseparable from the power it cultivates. Without the darkness, the depth of courage, endurance, and self-belief could not exist. Each battle, each sleepless night, each silent scream is an alchemy of transformation, forging the human spirit into something extraordinary. And the greatest victory is not the absence of storms, but the ability to walk through them fully aware, fully present, fully alive. For those who survive, who endure, who rise, the storm becomes not a curse, but a testament, a living proof of unbreakable will, untamed courage, and the relentless capacity of the human soul to triumph over even the fiercest darkness. And in the quiet moments between the gusts, the soul begins to notice something miraculous: clarity. The chaos that once clouded every thought now sharpens perspective. The fears that haunted the night lose their grip, revealing the illusions they once seemed to hold as truth. In this clarity, the heart understands that survival is not about erasing pain, nor silencing the storm. It is about moving through it with awareness, carrying lessons like armor, and finding stillness in motion. Even as the storm returns, it no longer dictates the pace of life. It becomes a rhythm, a force acknowledged but no longer feared. And in that rhythm, the soul discovers a power that is steady, unwavering, and profoundly its own. And, finally, comes the revelation that transforms everything. The storm within does not diminish the soul, it magnifies it. Every scar is proof of endurance. Every tremor of fear faced is evidence of courage. Every night survived alone is a testament to strength no one else can measure. The heart realizes that it is not merely surviving the storm, it is mastering it, shaping it into a reflection of resilience, an emblem of self-mastery, and a source of quiet, unstoppable power.